Hello and welcome to Laysara Summit Kingdom. Build and expand your very own settlements in high mountains, carefully plan production chains, and satisfy various needs of your three-caste society while dealing with mountain hazards such as weather breakdowns and avalanches. Are you skilled enough to make your town thrive? In this game, we will play as a culture inspired heavily by some Asian cultures, probably Tibetan or Nepal or something like that, where they build their civilization on the sides of a mountain, and everything is built to accommodate that sloped surface. So that adds a unique function or a unique key attribute to the game that we haven't seen in a city builder before, at least to my knowledge, and provides some interesting gameplay choices. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we do, I want to mention that this is developed by Quite OK Games and published by co-published with Future Friends Games. It is available as a demo, and this is what I'm playing, is the demo, on Steam with the planned release of the early access version sometime this summer, 2023, with a full 1.0 release sometime in the first half of 2024. Let's go ahead and just jump into the game, because I think the game kind of explains itself best just by playing it rather than trying to explain it myself. So of course we have a tutorial. First of all, basic controls are WASD for the cursor, as well as a mouse scroll to zoom. Once you do it enough, the camera, yep, there it goes. It gets happy enough with you, and you can proceed from there. So we'll continue. The first building you have to build is a marketplace. Alright, it's time to start building your town. Let's start with placing a marketplace. It'll be a central point of your settlement, as it distributes goods among citizens living nearby. So the first thing we have to do is kind of look at the map before we build the marketplace. And you can kind of see that there's these landmass surfaces, there's kind of flat surfaces here on the side of the mountain. And yes, this is a mountain. We can go up the mountain as well. Up here, all the way to the peak, at least as far as the camera goes. But each level of the mountain, which the game will explain to us a little bit later, has different attributes to it. You can do different things at different quality levels at different levels of the mountain. So you can see the terrain changes. Up here, it's very gray. Ooh, there's some fancy somethings up here. What does that say? Minerals. Okay. And then this is like a yellowy color here. And then, of course, we have green down here at the bottom. The camera movement is a little odd to my opinion. The way that it kind of jerks back and forth a little bit. I understand why they're doing it, because they're trying to navigate on a roundish mountain surface here, but also have these flat surfaces to work with. But it feels like it wobbles too much back and forth when you're moving in one direction. Like, let's see if it'll do it now. Yeah, see, it went out like that. I'm not sure why. Or maybe it's because of this that it's going out like that. That could be. It could be picking up the terrain and trying to align it weird. I also just noticed the sound, the music, is a bit softer in the game than it is in the menu. So let's pull that up by at least a notch. So the first thing we need to do is build a marketplace. That's here. The colors here become highlighted as you can use them, so you can tell as the game progresses and the tutorial progresses, but more specifically, where exactly you can build the next things. And so it is a grid-based system. You zoom in a little bit. I kind of wish that you could control the angle a little bit better than what you can do, but that's okay. And this ladder thing here is actually a key point, because that's your city entrance point. So I kind of want to use that as an anchor here. Let's do like that maybe, and then maybe like this. Right there. built a marketplace, and there's these icons that appear over buildings as they need things. So that'll help us, and also as they have things you need to do. So that'll help us remember to do things in the game, but we'll talk about those in a moment. See the red marker above the marketplace? It means the building doesn't have a road connection to the mountain entry point. Let's fix that by building some roads. All right, so the road tool is here. The road tool doesn't remove the regular build menu, which I'm actually appreciative of. A lot of games remove that. Maybe I should have gone one more higher. It's okay. It's okay. A lot of games remove that, and I like how the road tool is different than the building tool. So let's go ahead and build a road. We want to build it up the mountain a bit, as well as across to the marketplace. But more than that, I want to actually build it out like this. And I want to actually build a little bit on the side of the, around the sides of the marketplace for later purposes. So we have a road grid now a little bit here, and we built a road to the marketplace and the entry point, which is the key part here. Good job. The marker above the marketplace has changed. The new one means the building lacks a workforce. Well, let's bring some folks into our town then. Building houses increases the town's population, so let's place a few of them near the marketplace. So that's here. This icon's now lit up, and we have a few buildings that we'll eventually be able to choose from in here. But the first one we can do is just the Lowlanders Hut. Provides a place to live for Lowlanders. Fulfilling their needs will unlock house upgrades, which provide more citizen capacity. So let's do that. Let's do... How many do you want me to build? Enough for 32, which looks like it's going to be 8 houses. That's okay, we'll put 2 over there. Great. So now we have 32 Lowlanders, which is the first caste, as was mentioned in the introduction. The first caste of our civilians here. The other 2, by the way, are artisans and monks, as we can see here with these other residential buildings. Great. Let's continue developing our settlement by providing our citizens access to a mandala building, which is important for their spirituality. Mandala, among many other buildings in Laysara, has a range. That means it will only affect nearby buildings, in this case, houses. Ranges are determined alongside roads, so we need to provide access to a mandala for all the citizens. That's here. This is the Enlightenment category buildings, and a mandala. Now, this building is 4 tall by 5 tall by 3. So I think I want to put it up here, like right there. And that'll give me access to all the buildings. You can see, by the way, if I pull this over here, the house on the bottom right loses access to it. So you can tell before you place the building how well it covers, and that's just based, as the description says there, on road distance and road access to begin with. Great, you have just fulfilled a need of your citizens. To learn more about your folks' needs, let's bring up the house menu. Click on a house. So here we have, they have a need for a mandala here, which has a value of 2. Then they have some food needs here, and then there's another category here. And then once we do that, then I guess we can upgrade. So we have marketplace, they're demanding marketplace sampa and marketplace eggs. They're not demanding anything from prosperity or from enlightenment, though. Here you can see both the already fulfilled needs and the still demanded ones. Needs are divided into 3 categories: food, prosperity, and enlightenment. This bar shows how many and which category needs you must fulfill to make your citizens willing to upgrade their house. Looks like folks living here would like to get some food, which isn't really all that surprising. Let's focus on that. Okay, so close the house menu. I just did by right-clicking. You can also click the X over here. There's a destroy building and then a disable building button over here as well. We'll continue. Let's start with producing some eggs. Build a chicken farm and production will start. Make sure the chicken farm has the marketplace in its range. Every production building can only transport its production output to a building in its range. So before I do that, I want to build a little bit more to the road here, extending these over a bit further. This rock here is decorative. We can build right on through it. And also there's little signs too, and I'm not sure what they are. That one looks like a yak. I don't know what that one is, and I don't know what that is either. But there are these little signs here that are kind of decorative. So eggs, that's here in food. And then a new thing pops out here for egg production. And then that building is a 2x3, so I want to probably put it down here. And it just needs to have access to the marketplace. So let's just put it right in here. Chicken farm is now producing eggs, but as indicated by the icon, that's this one here, it is not sending them anywhere. Let's address that by clicking on the chicken farm and sending the eggs to the marketplace. Every production building will require you to set where to transport resources it is producing. So here we can click on that icon, and it brings up the chicken farm, of course. And then we get a screen here that shows that we are producing eggs from chickens, and we want to send them out, and we can pick, right now we can pick a marketplace. So of course we go to that marketplace, and then the people living in the houses now, the game might tell us this, but the people living in the houses are satisfied with 2 of their food cells are satisfied, which is good. Chicken farm is now producing, oh, you already read that one. Great, let's increase the food variety for our folks and start producing sampa, a flour made from barley. Place a mill, make sure it has our marketplace in range, and supply it with barley from barley fields. A single mill is capable of handling production output from multiple barley fields. Alright, so here is the barley, the sampa production. And so we want the mill, of course, and this building is a little bit bigger. I think I'll go here with it. As long as it's in range of the marketplace, it's fine, but I think I'll go here with it. And then it needs access to a couple of things. First thing it needs access to is barley. Now this can turn 15 barley into 15 sampa, and it's going to need 6 workers, which we have plenty. We have 11 total workers. Some are working here, but we're missing a couple of yaks as well. We need 2 yaks for this building, but we don't need them just yet. So I want to go ahead and put in a barley field here. And then I need to put a road down to it, at least that far. And then we can connect up the barley field to send to the mill. Continue. Our mill is receiving barley, but it's still not producing any sampa. That's because this building requires not only human workers, but also yaks to operate. To increase your town's yak population, you need to build a simple yak breeding. With production up and running, you can start sending produced sampa to the marketplace. Simple yak breeding works similarly to houses. They raise a yak population. Yaks are then assigned to workplaces automatically. So that's here in population as well, which is kind of a fun thing, that yaks are part of your population. They're not so much considered livestock or anything like that. They're considered population. So your humans are some of your workers, and your yaks are the rest of your workers. So I guess in some way they're almost like a separate worker class or caste. I think I want to put them up here. They fit nicely up against that mountain. Yeah, let's put them up here. And there's not a range that we need to follow here. Just like with the houses, they just need to be in the city somewhere, in the town somewhere. There we go. So now we have yaks, which means we have 4 now. Or we have 6, rather. We have 4 available, 2 assigned to buildings. Here we have 32 workers. We have 4 available, 28 are working in buildings. So now we are producing sampa at a rate of 3. It doesn't tell us how often, but it turns out that doesn't actually matter. So we want to send that to the marketplace. And that triggers, is this going to tell me that part? Yes. That triggers these houses to now be available for upgrade. We have fulfilled all 6 cells, with the sampa being the other 2 cells here. So now we can actually do upgrades in all of these. Great. Looks like your citizens are happy enough to upgrade their housing. Once the house can be upgraded, you can do that by clicking a button above it. Upgraded houses accommodate more inhabitants, therefore resource consumption rises. Consult the marketplace menu to see consumption details. So we're going to first just click a couple of these. I don't know that we'll be able to click all 8, because the houses are getting bigger. Yeah, you can see right there. Already we have a problem. We need more sampa. And by the way, we can now click on a house, and you can see that they inhabit, or 10 people are inhabiting it. So now instead of needing 6 units of food, for example, now we need 10, which is why all of a sudden we need more sampa. But we know that this mill can produce up to 15, so all we need is a simple barley field. So let's do that. Am I going to be able to fit? Ooh, I am. Nice. And we'll just link that also with this mill. And now, magically, we're producing 6. And these 2 buildings are able to be upgraded also. There we go. And you can see here, we need 4 units for the village as it exists here. So that's 8 houses. So each house, I guess, needs a half of a unit per whatever unit of time that it is. And we also have 80 people now, by the way. Each house needs a half a unit per, which means that each person needs, well, like 0.05 units. Like 1 unit is good enough for 20 people. So that's why we had to build more sampa, or barley rather, to make more sampa in order to feed everyone. Because before we had 32, and now we have 80. So, okay, let's continue. Nice job. It's becoming a little tight, isn't it? Time to expand. To connect your town to the area on the left, we can use a bridge. You'll need to find a suitable spot on each side to place it. So this was kind of a little fun bit. I was a little surprised by how this worked, but it was really fun to do. Really fun kind of mechanic to the game. So we have these other flat bits here. This one and this one. Oh, this one might be a little bit different to function, but we have all these flat bits here to be able to build on. But we only have 1 access point, so these bridges allow you to link the 2 sides together. So if we wanted to put in a connection between, say, here and here, we can do that with a bridge, and then we can build a road to that bridge to connect it to the rest of our town and back to the access connection here. Whatever I can't remember what they called this now. What do they call this thing? I don't know. Ramp or something. It's not what they called it, but whatever. But you can connect it between any 2 spots that are green dots. If I tried to come down, but you can also can't go very, very far. So like I can actually come way down here. Ooh. So we could have even done a bridge. There's not a good spot there apparently. But here there's a good spot. And then here there's a good spot. And there and there. You can kind of see where they should be, kind of. That one's good. Good. But yeah, that one down there is not a good spot. Neither are any of these way down here. So, yeah, that works. Nothing down here either. And then same kind of thing over here. The furthest down we can get is that one. And I think you can go a little bit diagonalized. No, actually you can't. So it's probably where the spots match up evenly is where you can build. But that works out well. So let's go. This newly reached region will be a great place for the second residential area, so let's put another marketplace here. Use the bridge you have built to create a road connection. So let's do a road first, actually. Let's go from here across, and I'm just going to draw a straight road across there. And then I want to put in another marketplace. Right there, I think. Okay. For the new residential area, let's make things interesting and bring a second caste to the town. Your current village houses lowlanders, folks versatile in the ways of nature and the land. Artisans, on the other hand, are crafty manufacturers and service workers. So we already know about lowlanders, we're learning about artisans now. Each caste has slightly different needs, so use newly unlocked buildings to make your artisans happy and upgrade their houses. Some of the newly unlocked buildings require artisans as workers. So we need 8 artisan houses upgraded to level 2. Well, the first thing we need to do is, of course, put down those 8 houses. Let me actually I'll leave a space, that's fine. 3, 4. Let's do a road here also, and then pull down through here like that. And then back to the housing again. And then I'll do a little bit more road here. Alright, so we now have 8 level 1 artisan houses. They need 1 food, 2 prosperity, and 3 anythings. So they demand cheese, sampa, and eggs, as well as, oops, I cleared it, as well as baths and a mandala. But we know about a mandala, so let's see if we can do that first. We know how that works. Should I do it up here? Yes, put it right there. It fits kind of nicely right in there. Let's do that one. We also know about a lot of the food. So let's start with the ones we know. Oops, click. There we go. So eggs first. That'll be fine. And then mill, as well as some barley. And we know we're probably going to need at least a couple of these. So let's go ahead and do it. And then we'll need to build a road. Wait, I didn't build the eggs? How did I not build the eggs? Okay. And then we also have cheese, but let's just get this stuff up and working first. Before we can do that, we'll need to have another yak farm. And that fits in nicely right there. I just hope that it works out nicely too, but we'll see how it works out going forward. All right, so let's connect these up. You'll go here. Oops. Send there. Send there. Send there. Send there. So now they have 1 unit of mandala. They have 2 units of food, but they're also more demanding on their food. Because we sent the same amount of food to these people as we sent to these people. And this counted as 2. Eggs counted as 2. Sampa counted as 2. And mandala counted as 2. But for the artisans, they only count as 1. We also are going to need 2 prosperity units and an any category. Let's take a look at the prosperity stuff next. Baths. Clean citizens are happy citizens. Grant access to baths for people living in houses in range. Alright, can I do it here? It looks like I can't, or maybe I should do it up here. Shouldn't matter, actually. 6 in one, half dozen the other. Go there. That should give them a bath, and that counts as 2 units. So now we just need 1 more unit. Well, the only other thing we can build, we have mandala, we've already figured that part out. We only have 1 thing to make here, and that's the bath. What are all these? Copper utensils? Ooh. Yak races, that sounds like fun. Also, not available in demo. But we do have cheese. So cheese needs a cheese maker. Turns milk into cheese, which can be delivered to your citizens via marketplaces. And then we also have a yak shack, which is different than the yak breeding. Let's go here and put this in. Let's see what this one looks like too. All right, we're going to go with 1, 2, It's always a puzzle. City builder games. Let's go with that, I guess. And this. And then I want to move or to carry the milk here. And we're also producing wool, which we'll be able to use later. For now, it is what it is. And then cheese. And they're all available for upgrade now. Now we're able to produce 5 cheese from 5 milk. We're producing 5 milk. So this is a 1-to-1 relationship, whereas this was up to a 1-to-5 relationship. So we can upgrade these houses now to level 2. And now they get more demands, of course, and they also start housing 8 people versus the previous 4. I wonder if we'll get all the way. Yeah, we get all the way. Good. Excellent. Great job. Now it's time to expand upwards and see what the mountain has to offer. Just like a bridge can connect 2 regions on the same level, shafts can be used to climb higher. Hold middle mouse button and move the mouse to view the mountain from a distance. Ooh. Ooh. That's a thing. Okay. Nice. That would have been useful earlier to know about. I didn't read that earlier. Okay, there we go. All right, so here we are. A shaft is here, and again, it's kind of part of the road tool family of things here. So if we go here, which is where I want to go, can we pick a spot right in there? Looks like we can. We'll go right there. Oh, and you need a road connection too, of course. It's always intended. There we are. Splendid! Now you have reached a region in the middle zone. Production output of some buildings depends on which zone they are placed in. This is shown in their tooltip like this. An example of a building working this way is a beekeeper. It produces significantly more resources if placed in a middle zone. Let's use that to our advantage. So beekeepers here under food also. Here's honey production. So you can see that's the tooltip directly from here. It produces honey, which can be then further processed or distributed to your citizens via marketplaces. Production output depends on the mountain zone you place the building on. So you can see the little bar here. I'll use this to show. There's a low zone here, middle zone here, high zone here, and it clearly shows that we can produce 5 honey in the middle zone, whereas it's only 2 in the low and the high zones. So we want to do this up here. This is a 2x4 building. And let's do a road going up. I don't know where to, but that's fine, I guess. And I think I'll just strike a line and not count this time. As far as I can tell, the roads are free. So Build them to your heart's extent. I'm going to go, I think it's 2 spaces away for reasons that will become clear in a little bit. I think it's 2. If we want to provide our people with honey, we need to find a way to transport it all the way down. Beekeeper can only send resources to nearby buildings, so we need a warehouse. Warehouse stores resources and allows for sending goods over long distances, not restricted by any range. A single warehouse can only store resources of one type. So that's here in the next sort of major menu here. After we've looked at the 3 people-pleasing things. Ooh, that's got a... I didn't actually look closely at this when I was trying it out. It's got a little wheel on it, so that must be... Yeah, it's like an elevator shaft then. It's actually bringing people up, must be like in a bucket. We don't see the bucket, but that must be how it's transported. And this one apparently has the same kind of thing. It's a little bit different, but it must be the same kind of thing. Or it's just not drawn properly. That could be. Actually, it looks like it's just not drawn properly, because it looks like the same exact thing without the wheel. Okay, so we need a warehouse. That's here. We also have here, by the way, a couple other things that we can't see yet. So a warehouse is a storage building, allows for transporting resources on over long distances, maybe, and to multiple destinations. And this needs 8 artisan workers. Carrier, cart maker, yak post, trading post. Interesting. More things for later. It is 2x2. Nice. So put that right here. And this this has how much is coming in, how much is going out. And you can assign carriers to it. Carriers are... I thought they were lowlanders. No, I guess they're artisans. But we need to send the honey to the warehouse first. As already mentioned, warehouse can be used to transport resources over long distances. Warehouses don't have ranges. They use carriers instead. The more carriers assigned to the transport route, using the plus button, the more resources can be transported. Let's send honey down to your marketplaces to distribute it to our folks. Carriers are recruited from unemployed artisans. Unlike production buildings, a single warehouse can send resources to multiple destinations. So that's also a great use for warehouses. It's kind of like a many-to-many function. You can have many of one type of resource delivering to one one warehouse, and then have that warehouse distributing to many marketplaces. As long as the net here is equal or positive, then you're fine. So let's go ahead and send from here down to first, I guess, the artisans, and then we need to assign carriers to it, and we'll need to let's see, there's a way to find, here it is. We can also click on the marketplace. I didn't show this earlier, even though the thing's mentioned to do it. We're producing 6 eggs and we need 1.6. We're producing 5 cheese and we need 1.6. We're producing 1.6 honey and we need 1.6. And we're producing 6 barley and we need 1.6. Whereas over here, we did see that. We did see that, the 6 and 4 thing. So, but we can also then send honey down here to this one. And they're gonna need 2.7. And they need, the amount they need is fixed amount. So they need, I guess it would be 8 units of food, regardless of how it's distributed amongst the 3 things. And that's because we have 8 houses, I guess. Whereas these 8 houses need less of each kind of food because we have more kinds of food. So we also need 8 units of food here because we have 8 houses. But the distribution, I guess it has to be even, but it doesn't have to be more of one thing than the other. So we need to fix this, though. We need to have, was it 2.7? So we'll turn that up to 2.7 or greater, which means now that they should be happy here with the amount of honey they're getting. They're happy here with the amount of honey they're getting. This house says, hey, you gave me honey, which is worth 2 foods. And then we have more prosperity here. And this also says you gave me honey, which is worth 1. Which is interesting that it's a higher tier of food, I guess, because it makes the artisans happier, but they don't care for it as well. So it doesn't give them as much progress toward their upgrade. They're also demanding cheese and baths, by the way, over here, whereas these folks are demanding nothing right now, which is good because they don't need demands. The other thing we gained access to by expanding higher our resource deposits. On these spots, we can build mines. Let's start mining copper and use it for copper utensil production. Move cursor over a resource deposit to see a button for quickly placing a mine. So we can see there's copper nodes here, here, and here on that rock wall, that rock face there. There's not any on this one here though. Oh, yeah, that was not the right height. Over here. Let's see. This is where we saw the mineral. Okay. So there's not any copper on this one either. But we have copper here, so we can either go into the build menu here, and do the copper mine and place it there, which is a little weird because you actually have to place a building on the wall as well as a building down below here. Or you can just click on this button. It'll place the building on the wall, and then you can place the building down below. Either way works out fine. The game is happy with it either way. I like that you can get the building from the resource node when it's a node like that. And we'll of course build a road over to it, and it needs workers. It needs the first level of workers, the lowlands something, lowlanders. Yep. So we need to build some more lowlanders here. Build 2, and upgrade them both, and we're a little starved out on honey now. They need to have 3.3, and we're only supplying 3.1. But that's a problem, because while we could output another unit, that's going to steal honey from... I think it'll steal from these folks. Maybe not. No, maybe not. Okay. It's just there's a capacity here for 3.8, but there's only 3.3 left, so now we're getting net negative. I don't think this will work for very long. I think it'll give us a problem later. I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. So we need to also output this copper that we have here coming out of the copper mine, 4 of it, to a copper utensil maker, which is here in the copper utensils screen. And this turns 4 copper into 6 copper utensils. I'm going to put that here on the other side of the road, but I'm going to put it 2 spaces away again. And we want to, of course, output the copper to the utensils. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, 4 out, 4 in. And then, you're gonna let me do this here first. Great, now you can build another warehouse to send the copper utensils down and distribute them. After doing so, your people will be very close to upgrading their house again. To make that happen, let's also provide them with textiles. For wool production, you can either build new yak shacks or use already built ones. This objective has no caste requirement for which houses you should upgrade, so we just need 20 houses on level 3. Well, we currently have 8 and 10, so we're going to need to build a couple anyway, but we'll see which ones we need as we get closer there. And we can also, workers, yaks, got it, and clear those. Those have been there all day. So let's build a warehouse, right here. And then we can output that to the warehouse. And then, of course, we can output that down there and down there. You're going to need 1.3, and you're going to need 2. Good. 2.4. And these, by the way, need more carriers because it's further away. So you actually have to have more carriers to maintain that velocity, or that delivery rate. To make it even the same amount, we needed twice as many carriers because it's twice as far. So that's kind of a nice attention to detail mechanic there too. All right, so that gets us copper utensils down here. What else do we need? We need wool, textiles. We're getting wool out of, not you, this one. We're getting 5 wool out of here. So if we can, we should build a textile weaver to make the textiles. Let's see, you take 5, good. Let's do this here. We need, of course, build roads. I'm going to bring it down to here and across, and then we'll connect it off in a loop. And then you need to send your wool to there, and then you can send your textiles to there. And they're upgradable. Now, they may not... Yeah. They're already fading. There's not enough honey to feed everybody. You need... Well, here, we need a total of 2.5 honey now, which means that the amount of honey we're making is no longer enough, because they need 3.3 and they need 2.5, so that's 5.8, and we're only making 5. So, we need to build more honey, and we can do that here. Oh, and by the way, you can see the range here also on these buildings, and you can see how far you can get away from that warehouse and it still be selectable. And of course we can build on both sides of the road or wherever, but you still have a maximum range to the warehouse. Just wanted to show that out. Let's go here, and then of course send this to the same warehouse, because we don't need a second warehouse for the same item. And now we're producing 10, 5 from each beekeeper, so we can increase this to accommodate, I think, enough. Yeah, we're providing you with 3.2 and you need 2.8. Excellent. So they're good and happy now. Now we need to deal with these folks. They need 3 more things. They don't care which they are, but they'll take cheese, they'll take a bath, and they'll take textiles. Well, let's start with the bath, because that one's easy. I like easy first. Could I just do that? I suppose I could. We don't need a road up there. This is all blocked in, so yeah, let's just do that. I mean, there's nowhere to go up here is what I'm getting at. So that's good. Now they have baths. And then they just need cheese and textiles. Now, we do have some surplus cheese here. We're providing 5, and we only need 2.8. But do we really want to send cheese over here? We'd have to put up a warehouse to take the cheese in. Also, the textiles, if we wanted to send our surplus textiles over here. So I think it's easier, probably, just to build what we need over here. So let's go with cheese first. The Yak Shack, we want to make sure we put this someplace where we can connect it to both. Actually, you know what? Let's do the cheesemaker first. Let's put that here. And then let's do the weaver here somewhere. Oh man, I wish I could fit that in there. One tile off. Once again, one tile off. Let's put it staggered like this. I think this will be fine. And then we need the Yak Shack, and we'll put that in here. Of course, I need to run a road down to the weaver, which is fine. And then we need more yaks. So let's go to the yak population here and do some more simple yak breeding. We can't do it there. We could do it there. We could also put it over here or even up here. I think I'll put it up there. And we could actually even put them up here, and it would be fine too. There's no reason why we have to put them even on the same level, let alone in the same platform, the same landmass. So now that we have the yaks, we are producing both milk and wool. Milk can go to you, wool can go to you, and then textiles can go there, and then cheese can go there, and everybody should be happy. They've got everything they need. They've got more than enough stuff, and so we can upgrade them. Now, of course, we're going to start running out of copper, but we'll do that. We'll deal with that in a minute. And we're going to run out of honey as well, and textiles. That's a little bit of a surprise, which means we need to make more. Now, we could potentially do the send from here over to here to round that out, but let's deal with the honey first. That's not you. This one. There we are. We're still at net positive. And then the copper. We have 1.3 to spend. Not going to be enough. We're a little over. Let's take a look, though. You need 3.6. And you need 2.2, which is only 5.8. But we are producing 6. But because of the way that these carriers work, we're over by 0.3. I don't know if that's going to matter or not, but we're gonna try it. And then maybe let's do the warehouse thing and send our textiles. Let's send our textiles to both from here instead of having it go to the one. So let's cancel this send and deliver it here instead. And then you can carry to there and deliver what they need, which is way more than they need. Yeah, they only need that much. And then we'll send another carrier over here And that's all they need, is just a tiny, tiny bit. That works. And that gives us an even amount. But we're 2 houses short. Do we want more lowlanders? Do we want more artisans? We guess we could do one of each. One thing we could look at is who's got more of a surplus. I think the artisans, except for the copper, I think the artisans have more of a surplus. Let's do 2 more artisans. Here. Yep, copper. Okay, we need copper, we need honey. I figured we'd need honey as well. Let's do this one. That should take care of them. And then let's just put up another copper mine here. There. I'll just take this road straight to it. We can bend it around later if we decide we need that one. And we need more yaks. That's fine. We can deal with that. Because we need yaks to work up here. Yak. I'll just put them out here. There we go. And then we need another copper utensil maker. Right here. And this should be within range, I hope. It is. And then that can go there. And then we can up the copper sent to there. And everybody should be happy now. Except that you need a bath. Oh, it's too far from the bath. Doggone it. I should have put that one. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Destroy that house. And put it instead over here. No, artisan. Here. I should have put them both on this side, I guess. That's fine. 20 houses to level 3. Excellent. Avalanche Inducer. Great job. You have successfully built a thriving mountain settlement. As the last thing in this demo, let's take a very quick look at avalanches. One way of dealing with them is to trigger them preemptively before they get too powerful. Hopefully it won't be too late. Before we do that, I want to take a look around a little bit. So this definitely says not available in demo. This says required research 2. I don't know what that specifically means, but obviously it's something we can't do. This also requires not available in demo or required research 2. I want to just kind of click around a little bit, see what it says about each thing that we don't have access to, just to see if, ooh, Yak Shack, Butter Beater, Herbalist, Salt Mine, Butter Tea. Yum. Let's see, we have Yak Races, Commodity Supplier, and Inn. The Inn provides ale to citizens in range. We can't make ale, so that's why it's not bothered to be disabled there. But there is ale production here. Lumber mill, charcoal pile, brewery, and then the inn, of course. Wait, do we have? I guess that's just that. I was wondering what was up here versus these. Yeah. Was there anything in these, by the way? No. And then we have ornaments production. So again, lumber mill sends to a charcoal pile. Also the copper mine and a gold mine to make ornaments. These either have the research, which I guess is a building we don't have access to yet. Maybe that's what that is or something. Or they're just say they're not available in demo. Baked goods production. Again, lumber mill, but also a barley field. To the mill, which gives us that sampa flour. But we can make charcoal, and then we can take honey from the beekeepers and chicken or eggs from the chicken farm to make confectionery. Or to go to the confectionery to make baked goods. So some kind of a sweetened, I don't know. I guess it's some kind of a pie or pastry of some kind of baked good anyway. Then butter lamps. Of course, the Yak Shack and the copper mine are here, the lumber mill. The Yak Shack makes butter, or goes to making butter. The copper mine makes the copper utensils. The lumber mill makes the charcoal. And then we have butter lamps, I guess, with the coal and the copper utensils and butter. And then finally here in the, which section is this again? Whatever section this is. Did you say prosperity? Yep. The herbalist plus the mineral mine, which we saw the minerals, come together to make pigment. Plus we have the yak and the weaver mix the pigment together to make dyes. So we can turn those into dyed textiles. Okay. Nice. And then in the final category here, enlightenment, we have the mandala. There's also a monastery, a praying place, monastery wall, gong, shrine, and yak guardian, as well as incense production here. herbalist, and cedar grove. Cedar grove grows the best on the top level, as you can see there. Incense maker handles the making of the incense from the cedar and the herbs, and then we send those to a shrine to be used in religious observances, I guess. We already looked at these: the carrier post, the cart maker, the yak post, and the trading post. Notice I'm not really looking at what they do. I'm just kind of highlighting these. If you wanted to pause, you could see what each of them does, I suppose. And then cart production, we have a lumber mill and a cart maker, and those give us I guess, double the carrying capacity. Nice. We don't know what this icon is here. It's grayed out. We can't click on it. But we do have this star, which we have a building to build in. But before we do that, we have a watchtower. Interesting. We need to place a watchtower on every slope of the mountain descent path. Donation spot, avalanche barrier, road cleaner, base camp, cedar painter, and statue foundry. But we also have the avalanche inducer, which is what the game wants us to actually do. So let's come up here, and it wants us to build it up here someplace. I'm going to wait and do a lift first. Shaft. Can I do it from here? I can. Okay. See, this one will let you put it in a couple of different spots, which is kind of interesting. There we go. And then let's build, well, let's do a road too, I guess. That would be useful. Now, I know what this does, and it also clearly tells you that it's the last thing to do in the demo. But also, I'm doing this now here. I went through everything here because once we do this, we're done with the demo. Literally. We're missing 8 yaks, though. So let's go ahead and build another yak breeding. Actually, we'll need 2 of them. They connect together, too. That's neat. Look at that. They're separate there, and then they come together, and they have like one farm building between the 2 of them. Sadly, I don't have this set up to do like a group of 4, and that doesn't connect like that. But we do need a couple more. So let's put down another one of these. And there's our avalanche inducer. And now we can trigger an avalanche, which is the fun part. And yes, it did just destroy our artisan town, which I knew was going to happen. Thanks a lot for trying out the demo of Laysara Summit Kingdom. You are now familiar with the core systems of the game, but Laysara will have many more features when it launches in Steam Early Access later this year. Use more advanced transportation methods, production chains, and another caste, monks, to build epic towns over the whole mountain. Build barriers, plant trees, and use avalanche inducers properly to never see your town buried in snow again. Raise a summit temple on the very peak as a symbolic act of conquering the elements before you move on to your next mountain. Alright, so that is the end of the demo, as it says here. And so that's the end of this episode as well. I hope this game was interesting to you. I find it fascinating, the mechanics of how you build on the different mountains, the unique, or the unique way that it's laid out, and you connect the different land masses together with the bridges and the shafts. Also, I really liked the way the transport and the nearby transport as well as the longer distance transport works, so that we can manage our resources. And so I'm really interested in trying this game out as it goes into early access later this summer, hopefully. So keep an eye out. Definitely add it to your wish list on Steam if you're interested, and follow the game as well there. And let me know if there are other demos of games that you noticed that I might like. I found this one kind of by accident, and so if there's any that you see that you might like me to give my thoughts on and play on my channel, let me know in the comments for this video or any video, or on any of the community posts, or for sure come to my Discord, and which you can find the link in the description below, and talk to me about any games there. Even if it's a game I don't play, I still enjoy talking about games. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye for now.